One of the best ways to practice unconditional love is to practice with yourself. Unconditional love practice with the self is so amazing because so much more deep layers of conditions that we have put upon ourselves bubble up. And the more that we practice that unconditional love for ourselves, the more things that bubble up for us to love ourselves even unconditionally. Those conditions that we were loving ourselves with start to show up. And we become aware of our conditional love for ourselves. And the more and more we practice unconditional love for ourselves, the more and more we see those things in ourselves and let those things go and love them and share them and pass them on. And let others know that they can clean themselves up that way too. By just practicing that unconditional love. It starts so much with ourselves. So many deep levels of acceptance. So many deep levels so many conditions that we have stacked upon ourselves. So many conditions that the life has put on us, from teachers, preachers, schools, ourselves, music. So as we practice to loving ourselves unconditionally, then the conditions arise and we shine light on the conditions that we have on ourselves. And that opens us up to loving ourselves more unconditionally, which is so beautiful. Because the more that we can love ourselves unconditionally, the more we can love others unconditionally. Unconditional love is such a beautiful practice. And it's so easy, starting with self. It's so easy to do unconditional love with self. It's such an amazing practice. You just do it. Just practice loving yourself without conditions. Practice loving unconditionally yourself. Loving ourselves deeply, no matter what, deeply through it all, through all the stuff that we're learning, through all of the things that we're perfecting. Grateful for all the practices. I'm grateful for all the love. Unconditional self-love is self-hug is very helpful. And practice loving yourself that way. Giving ourselves that love, unconditional. With non-attachments. Loving with unconditions and unattachments. And loving ourselves deeper than ever before. And loving ourselves past conditions, finding the conditions and setting them free, and loving ourselves anyways. And loving ourselves to the core. What a beautiful practice. What the best thing we could do for anyone else is practice that self-love for ourselves. The best love that we can show anybody else is ourselves. And then from there, that unconditional love just overflows. in abundance. Shining that love back out. Receiving all the love. Stirring it all up in ya. Shaking up all them conditions. Sending it back out. Receiving all the love, rainbow waterfalls. Receiving all the love, rainbow waterfalls coming at us in all directions at all the time with the unconditional loving universe. The unconditional loving multiverses that we live in is showering us with love rainbow waterfalls at all times. Receive, 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 receive. Love rainbow waterfalls of tickling bliss are being showered upon you from all directions at all times throughout the multiverses. Thanks, loves, thanks, loves, thanks, loves, thanks, loves, thanks, loves. I receive, I receive, I receive, I receive, I receive, I receive, I receive. I take it in super deep. Take it in super deep around every one of my cells. Hugging each one of my cells with all that love rainbow waterfalls of tickly bliss. And I tickle myself with all of that I receive. I take it in so deep beyond and past conditions. Things loves, things loves, things loves, things loves. And I send it all back out. What's that? Inflow, outflow. Giving and receiving. The gifts and the receives. I thanks loves, I thanks loves, I thanks loves. Unconditional loving practice, practicing conditions. Practicing loving ourselves unconditionally so the conditions bubble up of our old programming that no longer serves us, and we let that go. And we release and release and release and let that go. That old programming, any old stories of us, anything that is of us that doesn't match or doesn't work out, we let that go. We give it back to the earth. We give the guck back to the earth that no longer serves us. And we receive those love rainbow waterfalls of giggling, joyful bliss. We receive all the tickles of love throughout the multiverses. We take it in so deep, deeper, 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 through all of ourselves, getting that self-love. All of ourselves receiving that self-love hug. That receiving the love without conditions. Our self-love allows us to receive all the love out there that the multiverses have for us. Oh, so give it up. Thanks, loves, thanks, loves. I receive, so I may give. My chalice is overflowing. I've released the guck from my chalice, and now my chalice is overflowing with unconditional love for myself and unconditional love for all. What a beautiful practice as we practice our practices, practicing practice. I thanks loves for you and your light and your love and your bliss and your joy. May you see and feel the love rainbow waterfalls. May you feel your own hug. I hug you by hugging me. I love you by loving me. Thanks, loves. I love you. Yay. Wee wee wee. Wee.